Statesville traffic, Cherokee 43 Whiskey is departing 28. We'll be leaving the pattern on our runway heading to Statesville.
All right, so I just had a pretty fun experience flying into this.
333, enter downwind runway 28.
I had a pretty fun experience landing here at Statesville Airport. It was one of the busiest GA non-towered airports I've ever been in. And now I'm going to fly back home to Goose Creek Airport. All right, 65, 70, 75, 80. Rotate. We'll just stay on runway heading here until I'm about 1,000 feet, or about 500 feet above pattern altitude, and I'll go ahead and turn south on course for our way back to Goose Creek Airport. I'm feeling the vibrations of the aircraft are actually pushing the throttle back as I'm climbing. It's sliding out with the vibrations of the aircraft, so I'm going to tighten this up a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and turn on course. Continue our climb here. I'm going to climb to 3,000 feet. There is a Bravo ceiling, not quite yet. I'm not quite yet underneath the Bravo ceiling, but I will be pretty shortly. And the Bravo ceiling is at 3,600 feet, so I figured 3,000 feet is a good compromise, so that I don't break into Bravo. Now, for my particular course, if I continue at 3,000 feet, it takes me through Concord Regional Airport Delta Airspace, the upper end of that. So I'm going to go ahead and radio them and ask for a request to transition their airspace once we get closer. Other than that, it should be a pretty smooth flight home to my home airport, 28 Alpha, Goose Creek. Everything seems pretty stable. I'm stable at 3,000 feet. Vertical speed indicator is at 0. Throttle RPM is around about 2,400, maybe a little under 2,400, but we're cruising real nicely. It'll be a nice, relaxing, smooth flight here in the late afternoon. Since I'm going to be transitioning through Concord Regional's Delta Airspace, I'm going to go ahead and check out what their ATIS says is their altimeter setting down there at Concord. I just want to make sure that when I fly through, I give them a proper altitude.
May be reduced or denied. Advise you have information due to COVID-19.
We have our information. That way I can be accurate when I tell them where I'm going and what my altitude is.
10 miles northwest of the
I'm going to go ahead and transfer over my standby to Concord Tower. 134.65. All right, so I just requested transition through Delta Airspace of Concord Regional Airport. I requested transition from the northwest to the southeast at 3,000 feet, approximately 2 miles west of the airport, and it was granted. It's really busy today. I can hear it.
Number 2.
You can hear it on the radio, and then I can see it here on ForeFlight. It is very busy. And there's also an Airbus, I believe, who was on base, getting ready to land here as well. So I got my transition, I got my ForeFlight up, I got my eyes out the window, looking around, and I'm just going to cruise right through this busy airspace right here.
Roger, I appreciate it. Cessna 110, Sierra, Quebec.
All right, so I'm about to exit Delta Airspace here, and I'm on my way home to Goose Creek Airport, and so what I want to do is put the nearest airport, which is Monroe Executive Airport's AWAS on, so I can figure out what the weather conditions are at Monroe, which is about 6 or 7 miles away from Goose Creek, so it works out. I generally use that for a traffic advisory, or excuse me, for weather advisories. I'm just going to wait till I clear Delta by a couple miles, and then I'll switch it over.
Tower Cherokee 43 Whiskey has transitioned outside of Delta Airspace.
Cherokee 43 Whiskey, Roger, frequency change approval. See you later.
All right, see you later as well.
8 Zulu, wind 220 at 05, visibility 10.
All right, 220 at 05, so I think the best runway choice for me would be runway 22.
Niner.
Goose Creek traffic, Cherokee 6543 Whiskey is 8 nautical miles to the north, inbound for full stop. Request advisory, Goose Creek.
All right, now we're beginning our approach into Goose Creek Airport, which is a short field. My approaches into short fields.
03 Juliet, turning left base for runway 23, touch and go.
My approaches into short fields are very different than my approaches into large fields. Short fields sometimes are hidden by trees and you can't see them, as is the case with Goose Creek Airport. So what I like to do is maintain a little bit of altitude until I'm about 2 miles out, and then begin somewhat of a steep descent into the traffic pattern. Doesn't always work. Sometimes there's traffic around and you gotta do it a little differently. About 2.5 nautical miles out, I'll drop the nose a little bit and start my descent. That way I hope to see the airport over the nose. Alright, so I just reduced the throttle. I'm descending at about 1,000 feet a minute here. There's nobody else home or nobody else in the pattern. So I'm comfortable doing a steep descent like this into the pattern. I still do not have visual on the airport, although I think I see it, but I'm not 100% sure.
More traffic 03 Juliet, left downwind for runway 23, full stop landing.
Going to continue my descent here. It says I'm 1.5 nautical miles out. Oh, there it is, right in front of me. Wonderful. So I'm going to do a midfield crossing here. Coming from the north, you almost basically cross directly over the midfield, which is really convenient if you're coming in on 22, and if you have to come in a 04, you just take it a little bit wide to the left, and you can enter a 45 for downwind for 04.
Goose Creek traffic, Cherokee 43 Whiskey is entering a midfield crossing for a downwind 22, Goose Creek.
Awesome.
Goose Creek traffic, Cherokee 43 Whiskey is turning downwind for 22, Goose Creek.
Runway 23, full stop landing.
All right, so that's why my approach to landing into a short field is a little different. I like to bring it in steep so I can have visual on the airport. All right, let's go ahead and slow this down. Everything happens quick at a short field. 1700, flaps 1, trim up to 2. Little trick that my instructor taught me way back when that tends to work most of the time. All right, we're slowing down, and I'm going to turn base here.
Goose Creek traffic, Cherokee 43 Whiskey, turning base 22, Goose Creek.
All right, and after I turn base, I'm going to establish my final approach speed. I don't have a lot of room to do that because it is a short field, so flaps 2. There's no one on final, so then I can go ahead and turn myself on final. I'm going to trim up, slow the aircraft down, and turn final.
Goose Creek traffic, Cherokee 43 Whiskey is turning final 22, Goose Creek.
Everything happens fast at a short field. All right, we're lined up pretty good down to center line, and we have a headwind, so I don't have to worry about any crosswind adjustments. We're going fast. I'm about 90 miles an hour. I want to slow this thing down, so I'm going to lift the nose up a little bit and give myself full flaps. Trim up. A little fast, about 80, and a little high, so I'm going to reduce the throttle a little bit. But we're coming in real nice now, just under 80 miles an hour. About 77. Yeah, real good. The nose is at a good place. I feel good about where I'm at. 80 miles an hour, there's no reason to spot land this. All right. Got this made at 80 miles an hour. Lift the nose up just a little bit, slow it down to about 75, 65 knots, and reduce the throttle to idle. And begin my roll out here. Hold it off, 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 hold it off. All right, that was a smooth landing. I'm going to pat myself on the back for that one. I tap the brakes a little bit and give myself a little bit of aerodynamic braking. Drop the flaps. That was a fun flight. A lot of firsts, a lot of traffic. Wow, a lot of traffic. It was really fun seeing that Airbus land at Concord Regional Airport.